Secretary Singson, your day job is to be President and CEO of Metro Pacific Water.
That's correct.
And as you said earlier, water has been really your personal advocacy. Maybe tell us first, what's the problem? You said earlier that we pay much less, and I guess you're trying to make the point that people take water for granted.
The situation if you're talking of sustainable water supply,
right.
Sustainable in the sense that you use surface water, taking advantage of the excessive rainfall
right.
that we have, and not rely on deep well.
On the groundwater.
Okay. Or rely on desalinated, which is very expensive, right. Which will consume a lot of power.
Right.
So let's harness what we have.
Right.
And that's where what I mentioned earlier, the 11 major rivers that we had planned for, containing them upstream. Government should be funding this. We are funding roads and bridges. What is more important than providing water?
You can't have life without water.
If you contain that upstream, okay, then you will have a good supply for bulk water, for potable water. You will have irrigation. You will have hydropower, and you avoid the flooding that happens perennially.
Right, right.
Ang dali-dali sana ng solusyon na yan, but it takes political will to do it.
Like what you were saying with DPWH and government.
Pampanga River,
right.
Example, all of that water comes from San Antonio in Nueva Ecija.
Okay.
If excessive rainfall in that area, all of that comes down, swamps, Pampanga, Candaba Swamp, and then after a week, wala nang ulan, may araw na baha naman sa Bulacan. That's traditional yan. Taon-taon nangyayari yan.
Right.
No? Why can't we just put up a retarding basin or a retarding dam in San Antonio, in Nueva Ecija, regulate the flow of water? Okay? Based on what is the carrying capacity of Pampanga River, my suggestion then was government will lease 100 or 200 hectares in the Candaba area.
As a catchment.
Catchment. Para lahat ng tubig doon pupunta, hindi kung saan-saan tumatapon.
Right. And hindi sa kalye.
Hindi sa kalye.
Yeah.
And then release it kung may carrying capacity na yung river.
Right.
And that goes all the way to Bulacan. So, you can imagine, taon-taon that happens. And the fish ponds in Bulacan, kala nila pwede na mag-harvest, pala dumadating pala yung baha sa kanila after a week.
Yeah. So, it's interesting, I was looking at the website of Metro Pacific Water. I'm quite fascinated that you're looking at Iloilo, Dumaguete, markets outside of the big urban areas like Metro Manila and Cebu. Is it because of opportunity, or is it because of need, or is it because of both?
For both. In fact, we're now moving towards integrating water supply, water management, water distribution, wastewater management, and solid waste management. You can actually work on them all the way to renewable energy. Kasi waste, yung solid waste can be for energy.
You have another purpose for it.
Okay, so that's the new methodology now, combining all of that under one umbrella. Kasi hiwa-hiwala yan, kanya-kanyang overhead yan, kanya-kanyang sistema yan. But you have the same client.
Right.
You have the same consumers.
Right.
Siya nagtatapon ng basura, he has the wastewater, and then he needs the water.
Right. Right.
So that's the direction that we're taking. And we're doing it in Iloilo. Luckily for Iloilo, we have the Halaur Dam, which is a project of the local government and Senator Frank when he was still there. And with the help of Korean Exim. As I said, this has to be government funded. We were able to secure 40-year money, 10-year grace for the construction. And when that produces, it will produce 20 cubic meters per second, the same size as what the whole Metro Manila is getting from Angat Dam.
Wow.
So you can imagine, you'll have enough water for the whole of Iloilo, not only Iloilo City, all the other municipalities. You will have irrigation, you can have hydro.
Right. it seems like you're the major player in this field. Is there anything that the government can do to encourage you to expand more, or maybe to invite other companies to look at? Because we have so many other communities that need it.
Well, we've been getting calls from actually friends when I was with DPWH who somehow believe that I can do something in the municipality. So sabi ko, sure, let me get this basic information. And as far as I'm concerned, give us a little return, worth our investment, we'll go for it. Because as I said, this is already a personal advocacy. The water sector to me is a sector that has been badly neglected in the past years.
Right. But is there, besides mindsets, right, is there any specific policy or law that you think that would be helpful? Because, the mindset seems to be floods and droughts, right? I mean, there's really no management.
That's the situation we're getting in Iloilo.
Okay.
Pag malakas ang ulan,
baha.
Because of the river, putik yung pumapasok sa infiltration gallery namin. So hindi namin magamit.
Okay.
Sobra ulan, tagtuyo, wala kang tubig.
Right.
So saan ka pupulutin?
Right.
You manage the river system. You manage the watershed. So that's all part of the integrated water resource management that I mentioned.
Right.
From watershed to managing the river, taking care of if it's bamboo there, luckily for you, you can utilize that.
Right.
All the way to pipe water inside the house.
Right. The other component, as you said, is sanitation, right? I mean, that's
correct.
But one of the traditional problems there is effluents from residential areas going into rivers and maybe in some industries.
It's a simple thing.
Okay.
There's already a Clean Water Act.
Okay. So compliance
lang. Now, if LGUs continue to approve building permits without Pozo Negro, you're going to
have a problem. Yeah.
Pozo Negro is the simplest thing. That's part of the house. No?
Yeah.
And you just have the septage trucks go to your place once every 5 years.
Right.
Rather than putting all of these very expensive sewer lines.
Right.
And then all those sewer lines need to be pumped using power again to the treatment plant. You can do the same suctions, dislodging trucks once every 5 years, and you're going to cost much lower for the consumers.
Have you given much thought or study on the Mandanas ruling? Because when you were in government, your problem was how to deal with everybody's requirements. But now with the Mandanas ruling, the local governments are going to, well, at least in theory, have more resources. But there's no guarantee that they will use it properly. But
that's why DILG will have to make sure that the LGUs are capacitated to implement projects properly. One thing they can do is set cost standards.
Okay.
We started that in DPWH. If you're going to construct a road this wide, don't go far from this number.
The specs,
Okay. Ayan yung specs niyan, etong cost niyan per kilometer. So don't stray away from that. Otherwise, something's going to happen.
Right.
It's either substandard or overpriced.
Right. But, the tendency or the fear, at least my personal fear, is that with more resources, there may be more waiting sheds, more basketball courts. Going back to water, what are some of the things that the LGUs should look at? Because water, as you said, is vital to life, right? What can they spend on or invest in?
Many of these provinces have spring water.
Okay.
Put up a communal system.
That's right.
Common faucet.
Okay.
That's relatively cheap.
Okay.
Tubo lang, manage, treat the water. There are very compact water treatment facilities now, and you have at least potable water, if not pipe. At least they know where they can get clean, potable water.
Right, right. Are you working with any local mayors, governors, regional development councils to tap your expertise?
One governor already asked me for some help. So I sabi ko, sure, anytime. I'll give it for free.
What are they doing? And then maybe what can the other governors in the Philippines can learn from this collaboration that you're doing?
First of all, manage, if you have a major river, manage that river.
Okay.
And so we have the Sabo technology.
Okay.
Containing the water, regulating the flow of water from the source.
Okay.
So if you identify that, I am sure government should be able to fund that. DPWH has enough funds.
Right.
And it will take 2-3 years, so hindi naman kailangan biglaan yan.
Right, right.
The design will take 1 year, construction 2 years. If government can access ODA, 40-year money, soft loans, 10-year construction period, ideal for this type of projects. Rather than may private sector na naman nagagawa nitong realist yan sa Metro Manila. Ba't mo pupondohan yan? Hindi pagawa mo sa private sector.
Secretary, you've been very gracious with your time. I have more questions to ask, but that's all our time will allow for today. Perhaps you'd like to leave us with some final message.
Well, as far as I'm concerned, this is addressed to my colleagues in MAP as well as our partners in MAP. Bottom line, we need the public sector and the private sector to collaborate and have a close partnership for creating a society that's just, that is compassionate, and will benefit all Filipinos.
Secretary, thank you for your time. Thank you to also to our viewers, and of course to Pastor Apollo Kibuloy for making this program possible. This has been SMNI's Business and Politics. I'm Dante Klink, and I'll see you next week.